Albany Academy for boys and 2 other private schools. All right. After graduating from Street Academy, he attended Hamilton College on a full scholarship and graduated from there in 1985 with a bachelor's in creative writing. Today, Miller is an accomplished and prolific writer. Besides writing 2 technical guides on collecting music and authoring numerous magazine articles, he wrote The Robins of Iverhill, a minor league fairy tale. In addition, he currently writes a blog for the Times-Union. He also is a successful photographer with national and international awards and credits. And without any further ado, please put your hands together as we honor Mr. Chuck Miller accepting this award.
Wow. It's about the first thing I can say right now is wow. Please bear with me. Members of the Hall of Fame Committee, distinguished guests, family, friends, and my fellow inductees. I'm tremendously proud and deeply humbled to be the first student from the alternative schools to earn enshrinement into the Albany City School District Hall of Fame. And this could not have been possible had it not been for a partnership that occurred 40 years ago. In 1970, the Albany chapter of the National Urban League partnered with the Nuns Kenwood Academy of the Sacred Heart. And their goal was to help teenagers who had dropped out of school, who had no future, no hope. The only thought that they might have would be either a life of poverty or a life of crime. And the Urban League and the sisters put together a special institution, a school without borders, a storefront university. There have been similar ones in Philadelphia and in New York City. And thus began the first class in Albany's newest educational institution. Students were taken to hospitals, to museums, to businesses, and they were taught whatever was able to be learned there. And in 1974, the Albany City School District annexed Street Academy as an alternative and fully credited high school. Students received a core curriculum while still learning in very small groups and getting the alternative education and going from a handout to a way out. I first became involved with the school in December of 1979, and just to give you a thumbnail sketch of where I was when I arrived, I had gone through some very serious familial family problems. I had actually been out of school for about a year, and my future was probably either pumping gas or sweeping floors. So here I was, scrawny, nervous, little me, walking into a school on 165 Clinton Avenue for the first time. I had no idea what to expect. And 2 days into my schooling, I found out it was something I had never even thought of. Everybody in that school, from the teachers, the administrators, and the students, they all had their eyes on the prize. They needed to prove to themselves, to their families, and to anybody who ever doubted them that they could get a diploma, and with that, they could get a future. They were not going to let anything stop them. Not past indiscretions, not anything. You know what? We were told a lot of things in Street Academy that we weren't capable of doing. We were told we couldn't put together our own school band. Okay, yeah, we didn't have any glockenspiels, we didn't have timpani. We had jazz guitars, we had drums, we had bass, and we played in nearly every jazz club in the Capital District. And we were good. Damn good. We were told that we couldn't produce our own school play. You know what? Our classmates did some writing assignments, and they wrote a play called Black Through the Years. And we performed all over the Capital District the whole history of race in America. We performed it even as far north as Potsdam State, where the first Street Academy grad to go to a college of any sort, LaRod Graves, was a student there. Now it's March of 1981, and we were told that our tiny little school with no gymnasium, no science lab, no hot lunch program, we're going to have an opportunity to go on Channel 6 and compete on Answers, Please. No pressure. No pressure. Oh, and by the way, our opponents were Albany Academy. We walked in there, 4 of us. They were there, full military uniforms, National Honor Society, the whole 9 yards. They had 3 busloads of fans. We had one school bus that maybe had 8 teachers, and one of our teammates' mothers showed up too. And you know what? It was a slaughter. We killed them. That's right. 145, 105, preach on. Now, if there's any alumni of Keaveney Academy or Cohoes, I'm sorry, we beat your school too. 185, 105. And then St. Mary's of Hoosick Falls, no competition, 150 to 60. See that trophy over there? 3 weeks, retired undefeated, and we put the school on the map. But I just want to say this, it wasn't just because we went on a game show and we won for 3 weeks. I need to pay tribute to those who started the school, to those who continued, and those who made it last for 40 years. The partnership between Sister Mary Ellen Harmon of the Nuns of the Sacred Heart and Myrtle Boyd, Bob Peterkin and Harriet Gibbons, and Milton Horn, who was inducted last year into the Hall of Fame. And many of the teachers that I worked with, Lillian Tillman DeWitt, Eileen Coolo, Peter Ballant, George Mastrangelo, Dorinda Davis and Bill Newman, Ahmed Naki, Beverly Eisenstadt, George Mastrangelo, Dewey Hill, Alberta Mackey, Big Dave Williams, he was big, and Bonnie Diefendorf, who taught me and basically made sure I understood to never give up, never accept second best, never settle for just good enough. I'm sorry. I do need to say that in 1992, the school changed its name to Harriet Gibbons High School to honor the principal, Harriet Gibbons, who had passed away the year before. She was the first woman of color to sit on the Albany City School Board. She taught a lot of students to never give up. And for the next 20 years, the school was named Harriet Gibbons High School in her honor and in her memory. For the 40 years that my school existed, hundreds of students, thousands of students received diplomas, Regents diplomas. And along the way, they entered the workforce, they entered the military, they entered family life, they entered success. These students did go from a handout to a way out. And that would never have happened without the care and support of Street Academy and Harriet Gibbons High School. Through my years at Street Academy, I was able to graduate from a 4-year private college. Not a bad achievement for, scrawny little me who'd been out of school for about a year. I've held the same job for the past 25 years working for one of the top law firms in the Capital District, O'Connell and Aronowitz. And in 1990, I began a writing career. Writing for magazines, writing for newspapers. And then in 2000, just for the heck of it, I added photography. I did pretty well with it, I think. But I will always honor our school. The motto of knowledge, freedom, and brotherhood. They're not just words. They're the commitment that every student that graduated from that school brings with them their entire life. The skills, dedication, and motivation that I learned at Street Academy have helped me all the rest of my days. There's so many success stories from my school. I may be the first student from the alternative schools to join the Hall of Fame. I know I'm not going to be the last. Thank you, everybody.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chuck Miller. Excellent. And now moving on.